Kangyatsi, a 21,000-foot peak towering at the head of the Marca Valley in Ladakh, 1,000 feet higher than Stokangri, and 3,400 feet higher than Everest Base Camp. The final summit push is on a creviced, snow-covered glacier as steep as 45 degrees, and requires you to be harnessed and roped into the rest of your team. So naturally, we decided to catch a 5 a.m. flight and go climb it.
The experts say you should acclimatize in Leh for a couple of days before going to higher altitudes. Cam and I, however, are prone to going to every cafe in the bazaar. So between that and getting our food and equipment together, we were quite acclimatized and caffeinated by the time we left for Chokdo in the Shang Gorge, with Manjeet, Tashi and Rigzin.
Full disclosure, I was feeling pretty nervous as we drove away. I'm always up for a new adventure, but this was by far the tallest thing I have ever tried to climb.
Life is a journey, and some days that journey is really long. It's also pretty neat when you're hiking up a narrow gorge surrounded by steep rock precipices.
Do something kinda crazy. Drive all night with you right next to me. Feel the pounding of your heartbeat. When we get up high, won't look down, we won't look back. Yeah, when I die, I wanna know I lived like that. I wanna run in wide spaces, fly like the wind in high places, rushing like water on my face, with your hand in my hand. Ooh, I wanna dance into the morning, kiss you like you've never been kissed before me. I would go anywhere you wanna go, with your hand in my hand.
After a butt-kicking climb up the entire Shang Gorge and over the Kongmurola Pass all in one day, we got the first glimpse of our summit. It's kind of like how the eyes follow you in the Mona Lisa painting. No matter where you go, the mountain is there, towering above you, waiting for you.
Climb something high, don't look down and don't look back. Yeah, when I die, I wanna know I live like that.
After a lazy morning at Nimale and a short hike up the other side of the Marca River, we were at the foot of the peak, our home for the next peak.
Like all of our adventures seemed to go, it was hurry up and wait. Bad weather rolled in, and I somehow managed to catch a bad, high-fever flu. So we used the next 2 drizzly days to prep our gear and our minds for the summit push. After staring longingly at the peak for days, the skies cleared and we slept early, ready for our midnight wake-up call. Barely able to breathe out of my nose from this flu at this point, and realizing we were about to climb a glacier at 20,000 feet, I felt thrilled and terrified. One last hot meal and equipment check, and we were off. I have never worn so many clothes in my entire life. It was -8 when we hit high camp and put on our harnesses, gaiters, crampons, and axes, none of which I have ever used before. Should be fun. We climbed onto the glacier and ascended in fresh snow for hours, and at 19,500 feet my breathing became alarmingly difficult. And as much as I hated to admit it, sometimes the smartest thing you can do is turn back. So that's what we did.
Tashi, Manjeet and I left again the next afternoon for a second summit push, this time with heavier backpacks, leaving Cam and Rigzin to recover at base camp. We decided to do it differently this time and stay at high camp for the evening. I wasn't 100% for the second push after turning back 300 meters from the summit the first time, but Manjeet convinced me otherwise. Watching the sunset over Kangyatsi and the rest of Ladakh was, however, 100% worth it.
Back at base camp, it felt weird being alone in the tent, and I wondered if I should go back up and meet them. I decided to stay put though.
We made much better pace this time, with the snow now being compacted and us already acclimatized. Better than expected, in fact, so we took a break to avoid reaching the summit before sunrise. By 5:15 in the morning, we were there, 6.25 vertical kilometers above the oceans. It's striking how quiet it is up there. No living thing except yourself and the birds soaring the summits, shaped by the wind and the snow. It's one of those situations where words always fall short. You have to see it to believe it.